Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my coverage of update 1.36. In today's video I'm going to be covering the 5 new engine swaps that came along with update 1.36, and well, if you're a fan of American muscle cars then this one is probably for you. Whereas last time around it was the Nissan engine swap update, this one seems to be very much focused on the United States of America, mainly for Chevrolet and Ford. Now there is going to be 5 different swaps like I mentioned, all of which are a pretty samey bunch apart from one which is brand new and comes from probably one of the most mental cars that we've ever had within Gran Turismo 7 to date. So the first of the new engine swaps I'm going to go and show you is the Chevrolet Camaro Z28 from 1969, probably one of the most iconic American muscle cars ever made, and that does have a brand new swap in the form of the LT4 Camaro engine, which I believe comes out of the 2018 model that we actually have in game. I'm not quite sure on the specific model, but it is getting this one. It's going to cost you around about 140,000 credits, and overall, well, it's well, not too bad at all, to be honest. It's a fairly good engine swap in terms of controllability. If you can get a decent tune on it, it's actually a rather good track weapon. In terms of its straight line speed, if you want to go for a more drag racing build, then well, you're going to have no problems there either. It really is a fairly decent swap for one of the, in my opinion, nicest looking American cars in the game. So overall, a fairly solid start, and that is going to be engine swap number 1 of 5. So next we're going to move over to something a little bit different in the form of the Chevrolet Corvette C4, one of my personal favorite cars in the game, and actually I really do enjoy the styling that is on the C4, maybe because it was just absolutely everywhere when I was growing up. So this one is going to get the LT5 Corvette C7 engine. Obviously we're putting a C7 Corvette engine in a Corvette C4, should I say. And again, in terms of its price point, not too pricey, 167,000 credits for this one, so it's not really going to break the bank in terms of getting this swap into the car. Now, in terms of how this swap feels, overall it's decent, but it is very, very quick and will require a very good fine tune to really be able to put all of that power down. Maybe it's just me, but I could just not get this one working to its full potential, but it's almost like you can always tell there is potential there with this swap. I can certainly see it working if I had the time to kind of fine tune this one. Certainly a decent swap, and well, it's not really too shabby, giving the Corvette C4 a new breath of life. On to engine swap number 3, and this is going to be for the Mustang Boss429. Again, a car that I made a money grind build on absolutely ages ago, so I just decided to swap the heart out and put in a brand new engine. This time it's going to be in the form of the Voodoo, the 5.2 litre GT350R engine for 137,500 credits. Again, not really breaking the bank. Now, in terms of the performance, to be honest, although it's not really that overpowered, it did make the gears extremely long for this car, and it really will again require you to sort of, you know, get those shorter gears on there, and you can probably get a decent build going. But in my opinion, this has always been one of the more difficult cars to really get a fairly decent tune for. It took me ages to get the 700 build working right, and again, I think I've probably just completely broken that for the rest of time, so I can't really rate that one. Next we're going to move on to the Shelby. This time it's going to be for the Mustang 350 GT, the 1965 classic model, and this is a bit of a rocket ship. So as you can see, I've got basically the standard car. I've put the engine swap in, which is going to be the Voodoo 5.2 litre GT350R once again. Same price point, 137,500 credits. So again, not breaking the bank. All of these swaps are fairly affordable, bar I'd say maybe one that's a bit more out there in terms of actually turning this car into a very, very good kind of track weapon, or I guess oval build if you really want to go there. This thing actually works. Now, for me, this is the better of the 2 swaps that we now have for this car, or should I say the 2 engine swaps that we get in this update. This is honestly fantastic. It's one that I didn't expect to be very good, but even when you just shove it in the bog standard block, it turns it into an ultimate drift machine. And once you get really kind of fine-tuning this thing, which I've then gone on to do a little bit later down the line, you can get a really good track build out of this one. Fantastic swap. Now moving on to the final and probably the, I guess, latest one of the bunch. This is going to be the GT350R. Usually has the Voodoo engine in. Well, now you can get the Windsor 351 Maverick engine in, obviously from the GAC Maverick that we got a few updates previously. As you can see, a bit more on the expensive side compared to the other engine swaps, you know, costing in the region of the 200,000 credits this time, but overall still nothing really too major like the 787B swaps, which cost upwards of you know, 1 million credits each time. So again, you're going to get a lot of performance here, and to be completely honest with this one, this car actually surprised me. I expected it, because it's such a brutal car originally, the GAC, to, you know, really kind of shred up the tires on this Shelby or Mustang, whichever one, I can't remember which one it is in the game, but in all honesty, it handled it rather superbly. This is actually quite a sensible swap and does allow you to get plenty of performance out of it. So those are the 5 new engine swaps that came along with update 1.36, and there's really not a bad one there. I'd probably say maybe the 429 is the weakest of the bunch, if I'm totally honest. It's just a car that always took me a lot of fine-tuning to get right, and well, it's probably going to take me a long time to, you know, get it retuned with that new engine in. Overall, there is some very solid engines here, and if you're a fan of American muscle cars, then well, you can't really go wrong. You've got the likes of Shelby, Ford, and obviously Chevrolet covered in this one, and they're all fairly controllable and tunable engine swaps. So that's going to be it from me today. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check down in the description for my Discord, my Twitter, and all that good stuff, and I will catch you later on. Take care, guys. Peace.